Um, the left hates us. People like me, people like Bahizi or Bahizi. I think that's like how you pronounce it, because I cannot, for the life of me, pronounce it, even though I've heard it. Um, Steven Crowder. People like us that tell you the truth. Um, Sorry, I got a paper cut on my finger. Like, I mean, it was a bad paper cut in a spot that it kept bleeding and it bled through. This is my second band-aid from the day because it bled through a little bit. So, it was, you might not think a paper cut's that bad, but it was pretty bad. Um, I just wanted to look up something. Excuse me. Um, I was looking up something. But it's annoying. What's annoying is the fact that you literally can't speak out against the left, the Democrats. You can't say anything bad about them. You have to follow their rules and just go with everything they say as it being the truth. Yes, I am. But what I'm saying is, it doesn't matter. You're not. They don't care. They'll cancel you. Mike Lindell, anybody. The left hates us. They just assume, as my thumbnail shows, it's conspiracy theories. Like, what? To say that. To say that Biden won by the popular vote 51.3% and Trump only won by 46.8%. I've shown you countless times that mail-in voting did not work successfully. There was countless people caught for stealing votes and other things. That how many votes didn't go through that were for Donald Trump? How many votes were changed or not counted as official votes? Sorry, my finger hurts with the band-aid from getting a dang freaking. I'm not talking a little paper. I mean it slit and was bleeding and bled through the band-aid. I did this my second one, just letting you guys know if you guys noticed the band-aid on my hands. No. Hide this user. There you go. I hid the user. Um. I don't know. You guys got to see this video. I have to pull up from David Crowder. I mean, not David Crowder. He's a musician. I mean, Steven Crowder. I want to say I'm going to use his videos quite a lot. That's what I'm going to say. I'm going to use his videos quite a lot because they're funny, they're real news, and it's commentary from another source that you don't get like mine. And that's why I say, check out Paheezy, and there's like the News Junkies archives, where it's just clips from the day. Like, trust me, you need to know that this stuff is legitimate, and this is what they just did, and I want to show you guys what the left is trying to do to stop
H.R. 1 for the People Act, and this is basically a bill regarding elections.
I want to shrink myself down a little more. There we go. I gotta restart this from the very, very beginning.
H.R. 1 for the People Act, and this is basically a bill regarding elections with sweeping national legislation, which, if you look at all of it, in aggregation, is clearly meant to wipe out the vote of legitimate voters who have identification and want secure elections. But don't take my word for it. Here's Nancy Pelosi with visual aids.
So here we are, sat on the floor. This reminds me of what it must have felt like at Valley Forge.
I'm so important.
Everything is at stake. We must win this race, this fight for this bill. Because at the same time as we are gathering here to honor our democracy across the country, over 200 bills are being put together, provisions are putting forth to suppress the vote. To suppress the vote, how could it be? How do we pledge allegiance to the flag in this capital, this temple of democracy,
It's the only one she could lift.
Supporting voter suppression across the country?
The red and yellow China flag was too heavy.
Yeah, way too heavy.
I guess this'll do.
It's at home where she prays to it.
Right.
Could bums please stop pooping in my driveway also?
Mondaire Jones. They say that Republicans oppose the bill because they want to suppress your vote. This is more from the rally. All of the videos, all of the sources are available at louderwithcrowder.com, so you can watch them in their entirety. So I won't subject you to too much more, but this one's relevant.
When I think back to the struggles of my family, they can be traced to one common cause, and that is our broken democracy. The reason healthcare, higher education, and housing are out of reach for so many millions of Americans.
That mask ain't up all the way against his nose. It ain't working.
Democracy was not set up to reflect the will of everyday people.
After that enormous turnout, we saw Republican legislatures all over the country try and stop that voting, to stop the absentee voting, to impose barriers, to make it harder for Americans to vote. H.R. 1 would put a stop to that. And
Looks
it's
like the junk lady Muppet from
because
Labyrinth.
nothing else happens
Not a beauty
unless
pageant.
the people's voices are heard.
So let me be really clear here. This bill is it's designed to ensure that no Republican, no conservative, no constitutionalist ever wins an election again. That's actually what it's designed to do. I think you have that right there. We have a collage eye there, token on.
Okay, take a good look at that. Prohibiting identification requirements as condition of obtaining ballot. See? I think you should. Because that means that if someone claims, like, you could have an illegal immigrant vote, and this one says states may not require or have like witness signature So they're not going to check based on your signature. Now, my signature isn't always exactly the same, but there is various little things that you'll notice that you'll be like, oh yeah, that's his. That's how he writes. Because I really don't know cursive that well. And then it says, receiving through the mail after the date that is 10 days. It says nothing is subject, shall be constructed to prohibit a state from having a law that allows for counting of ballots in an election of federal office that are received through mail after the date that is 10 days after the date of the election. Like, what? We shouldn't even have the mail.
Let me be really clear before I get into what's in the bill. The suggestions that we have from our side of the aisle, I'm not a moderate, okay, let me be clear, and I don't think that this is that moderate. Identification to vote, to prove that you have a valid address, to have to request a mail-in ballot with a valid reason to vote absentee, and
You can also get a state ID. You don't just have to have a driver's license.
That's true.
You get a state ID, trust me. DUIs.
let me walk you through this really quickly. It allows same-day and automatic registration. I don't know how that'll work when ballots get returned before they're sent out.
Oops.
Expand early voting. It prohibits any kind of voter ID. Prohibits signature requirement. That one doesn't even make sense. That's not. They try to say voter ID because of literacy tests. Just you know what? How about a fingerprint? How about the Golden Corral? Just some greasy smears from the popcorn shrimp. As long as it's consistent, mandates no excuse absentee voting, one absentee ballot application for all future elections.
Wow.
Forces states to accept mail-ins up to 10 days after the election day. It allows for ballot harvesting. It allows 16-year-olds to register to vote. It has they want to have districts redrawn by unelected bureaucrats. Limits the ability to clean up voter rolls, and basically it legalizes fraud. Oh, also, by the way, as we've all been clamoring for, it'll make the cesspool of filth and sadness that is Washington, D.C. a state.
Oh, that's always a good thing.
Yeah.
Now look at that. Okay, District of Columbia residents deserve voting representation in Congress, and local self-government can only statehood can provide.
That's great. There's a lot of arguments right now on whether D.C. should be a state, and what you have to remember is if it is, with 700,000 people, they get 2 senators that will almost forever be Democrat, right? So that totally throws. It's also unconstitutional. Maryland gave them land so that Washington, D.C., the capital, could be separate from any state and not dependent on any state. If they were dependent on them to vote, for the city council to vote if they got electricity in the White House when Trump was there, don't you think they would have screwed with him just a little bit?
Yeah.
Like mess with him? We set this up so we would never have to deal with that.
Would have been hilarious.
Yeah. Here's the thing. If you want those people to be able to have representation like this, you have to give the land back to Maryland.
Yeah.
We have a provision that says you cannot create another state from another state's property. It's Maryland's property, guys. You guys don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Look at him with the history lesson.
It's insane.
It's
wow.
an unbelievable.
Halfway through, I was just thinking, what?
No, look, it's not that there's been a divide that's widened here in this country. Let's be really clear. It's that all parties have moved further to the left. Let me just give you a prime example of a Democrat. You go JFK, okay?
Yeah.
JFK continued. Vietnam, JFK reduced taxes. When you look at what JFK did, JFK believed in a strong national defense. JFK still was somewhat Catholic when he wasn't banging Marilyn Monroe, but you understand, we're not all perfect.
Somewhat.
And then you have Ronald Reagan. You look at Ronald Reagan, again, reducing taxes. You look at his policies that were pro-life. And then you compare that with, say, George W. Bush. You compare that with, say, now allowing men to beat up girls in college wrestling. Everyone has moved to the left. And so when people say, I'm a centrist because I'm being reasonable. No, look, there's nothing unreasonable about staying the course, everyone veering off, and you saying, no, I'm not going with you. Well, why are you staying there? Why are you being so unreasonable? Why are you widening the chasm? Because you want to put 4-year-olds on puberty blockers. How about that? So let's go to Europe. Okay, really quickly, and the sources are available at louderwithcutter.com. 78% of Organization for Economic Cooperation members only allow mail-in votes for people abroad or require a photo identification for mail-in ballots. France knows how. France, by the way, the only soldiers who go in with a standard issue individual white flag, they understand how absurd mail-in voting is.
Yeah.
That's why they banned it in 1975, and it's been banned ever since. France.
The bastion of democracy.
Think about this for a second. They're looking at us as though we're fools. When people talk about improving our international standing, you think that creating mass mail-in voting without voter ID is getting people in Belgium to respect us? By the way, who needs their respect? They put mayonnaise on their fries. Bomb them. Look, before this year, it was common knowledge that mass mail-in voting was susceptible to fraud, right? This is something that everybody knew, that people agreed upon. And this is something, for more proof, Abraham Lincoln. You know this. Abraham Lincoln nearly scammed out of the presidency.
Absolutely.
Explain that for people who know. It was in 1864.
1864, right? So the Civil War was still going on, and you had people that wanted to stop the Civil War and end it that were in the Democrat Party, and so they were supporting the other guy. And so they said, all right, well, all the troops are still stationed places. We'll just go ballot harvesting. Hello, California. Anybody remember what that's like?
Right.
We'll go up there and get all our votes. And what they found is, and this is what people say, why would there be mass fraud? I can't believe they would do that. You literally had generals supplying the votes for people and rooms of people set up just passing them down the chain. Here, sign this one for this guy. He's dead or he's wounded, but it's okay. He cast a good vote is what one general was quoted as saying. And only because a guy went up there to make sure the vote was okay did we find this out and those votes get thrown out.
Think about this for a second. Today, Democrats believe that if you're a minority, you are too stupid or inept to procure an identification.
Yes. I can't even use the
or
internet.
you're not even a legal immigrant, right?
Yeah.
So really, you go back to Democrats have been screwing Republicans racistly out of votes since 1864. Racist Democrats tried to screw the man who freed the slave with mass mail-in votes, and the same people now tell black people they're too stupid to take part in our democratic process. But it's for you, the people.
Lincoln's wife sure was a goofy bitch.
Again, they're palming it. It's like shaking the baby rattle at the mall when you take the picture with Santa. Say, oh, what's that? They try to make you don't think about mass mail-in voting fraud, which is well known across the world and was known in this country really up until a year ago. Just ask Amy Klobuchar, just ask Elizabeth Warren, just ask Jimmy Carter. But they try and say this bill is to keep big, dark money out of politics.
This is called the For the People bill. And in doing so, we combat big, dark, special interest money.
Do you mean special interest like the 74 million from Wall Street that went to Biden compared to $18 million to Donald Trump? Is that what you mean? Is that what suddenly switched Elizabeth Warren talking about taking down Wall Street to investigating day traders for GameStop? Is that why you did a little flippity-floppity?
Okay. He explained that what I was gonna... I hit that again. He explained what I was going to talk about much better than I ever could. Okay? What's up, man? What's up, Nathan? I am going to send Steven Crowder and his team an email and say, hey, go check out my YouTube channel. Check out a few of my videos. I use your videos because you explain things the best. Better than I could. And your comedy, that's what I like. Okay? The comedy in there is funny. I'm constantly laughing. I don't laugh that hard during the day until I watch his videos like that. Like, come on. The video I showed you yesterday about the voting fraud and everything, it's like, there's fraud. I've shown you the proof. Originally, I was going to title this video, I apologize for, claiming voter fraud, and I was going to claim it in the beginning, and the very end of the video, and in the very middle. But everything in between the beginning, the little bit of the middle, it's like a little bit of the beginning, a little bit of the middle, a little bit of the end. So that if YouTube tried to just scroll through, they'd be like, oh, this is what he's just talking about this. That's what I would have went with. But I didn't. I just, as I said yesterday, I can't sit back and watch this happen and watch a country that I live in be ruined. Like, I don't feel like I am able to be represented in this country at all. That I feel like that I feel like they're just trying to tell us that I want to make sure I'm getting this exactly correct. They want to make sure that we know that yeah, they want us to know that. They want us to know a lie. This is a lie. Left is not always right. I'm sorry. But I cannot allow I can't allow this stuff to happen and not say anything. I'm sorry. I went through almost all of school without really talking about this stuff to people and how I felt. But now I have to, and you should too. Feel free to share this video. Give it a like. Comment. Subscribe. Subscribe to the people like Baheezy, Steven Crowder, Bites, stuff like that. I would subscribe to the Bites because it's the most important info. He thinks that is reasonable to tell you and show you, but the rest of the stuff isn't. And that's why I like that stuff. It's edited down and it makes the most sense, and it's the video, and I think it's perfect. Now I would like YouTube to be my job because of a lot of reasons, because I just want to do what I feel like God's telling me to do, and because I have a passion for doing this. That's why I want to do this. And everything. That, like, I'm not lying. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna put this to the side here. I mainly do talk, but I'm being honest. They want to screw us over to no end. I'm gonna put my laptop on the charger. It's not that low. But I wanna be serious. Like, it's annoying knowing that my vote won't count at all, and everything, like, knowing that that's what's gonna happen, is my vote's not gonna count because of laws that are passed. If this stuff this stuff is going through, it's ridiculous. I feel like I don't have a voice. Like, I'm just another person that, if I died, they wouldn't care. Like, oh well, he didn't matter. What's his name? Oh, Dakota Stange. What political party did he vote for, or have views with? He was independent. Mainly right, but a little bit of both, but mainly right. Oh, he was mainly right. Oh, you said Dakota Stange. I don't know anyone like that. This person, forget him. It's pretty much how it'd go. They'd say the name and then what you'd voted for, what you decided on, and they wouldn't care. They wouldn't care. And my goal is that if I become not become, I was going to say become president, I don't know why. But if I am able to do this in my job, what I want to do is, if there's a candidate that I am gonna be voting for, and they're in my state, say like Kanye West comes to my state to do a rally. I want to be able to go, be there, live stream it from my phone, take video. That's what I want to do. I want to go to where the action is, film, do video. Let's look at my phone. My phone is over here somewhere. My phone over here? Yeah, my phone's over here. And, yeah. That's exactly what I would love to do. Is have this as my job so I can go to those rallies, go to these things, and have my voice heard. Because if I can travel across the country, meet people that change my thinking, and I just get to meet new and interesting people, and that's my main goal in life, is meeting interesting people that change my view on the world in a way that I'm like, I never thought about it that way. I'll take that into consideration next time, and I'll use that in how I do this or do that. Like, if they said you should sleep like this to think better, to do, and I'm like, okay, I'll try it, and then if it works, yeah. Because to me, you know, is I feel that it's important to know that things like that. Sorry, I was mentioning something for my friend Sam that I mentioned before. But as I'm saying is, it's like that's what I want to do, and the only way that'll work is when if you guys subscribe, you comment on my videos, and if you give it a like and you comment, it shows the algorithm that you like the video, that you have something to say about the video, and you care about it. I want to grow my channel, and I'm hoping to ask Bahizi to create a video for me of why you guys should check his channel out. Just a quick video, just him saying, hey, viewers of Dr. Awesome Gamer, this is blah blah blah, and this is why you should check my channel out. I think that's worth to see, because, you know, channels like that, and like Ruslan, I haven't really been watching Ruslan that much, because he doesn't really put the Bible into politics as much. Like Bahizi, he puts the Bible and then politics together at times in a way that I like. He uses a scripture and says that this is what's going to happen. If this is said, this is gonna what will happen. And I feel that really that's the kind of thing I want to do. I want to have live streams of thousands of people with chats that I can't read, with live chats that I can barely read because of the amount of people. Like, I want that level of people. Like, no joke. I'm not joking. about that at all. I'm not. And I think it's worth trying. And even if, and I didn't do it yet and I still have to do it, I'm going to probably do it after this live stream here, is to go and do the D Live and put up my D Live so you guys can make a D Live account. And then you can follow me on D Live, where if YouTube took me off, I would live stream on there. And then I have my library up there. So you guys can then follow me on library/Odyssey. You can follow me on there. And then any of my videos would go up on there. Pretty much is what would happen. That my videos would go uploaded straight to there. Not all of my content is up there. I'd love it if all of it could, but I don't know how much of it they can actually put up that I've uploaded, because I've uploaded from years ago, and I would love it if all my content could be up there and stuff. But I'm just, what I'm saying is that I know they're gonna cancel us, tell us we have no voice, tell us that our thinking is wrong, that we don't have the right to speak or have a vote with what they're going to pass, that would allow 16-year-olds to be able to, the right to be able to register to vote. Like, okay, I could see where they would want those people to be able to vote, but come on. What they want is more eligible vote. The next election, when this goes completely through, they're going to be like 3 times or 4 times as many people voting than usual. Like, I mean, way more than usual. It's like, I don't know how to say it or show, but I'm aggravated to the point where this channel was originally created to talk about video games. Then I slowly started, as soon as the coronavirus started up, I was like, looking at all this stuff with people confused, not knowing what's what, I feel it's my right to say something. Yeah, and, well, I knew my parents were going to be voting for Trump in 2016, but I did my own research and looked up stuff during lunch, stuff like that in our school library, and I printed something off to bring to class that was anti-Trump, talking about how comparing him to Hitler, and stuff like that with some of his stuff, and we talked about it in class, that I was on the fence between whether liking him or not liking him, but in the end, I was like, you know what, let's give him a shot. He's someone new, he's not a politician, that's why I think, one, we should give Kanye West a chance. He's not a politician, he's a rapper who is a Christian now, and if he really is gonna run again, and I feel like he will, he just needs time to get over a divorce that I don't think is justified. There's no real reason given. Yeah, when you're married, you're never going to have the same views of the world and vision of the world. Trust me. No one in this world has the same exact vision. Okay? Because you picture yourself doing this and that. Like, you and your parents may have similar views on the world, but not 100%, because you may think that they're doing something wrong, bugging and doing something wrong, when in reality, no, they're not. And I feel like that, like, people, I don't know where I'm going with this at all. I got no clue. But what I'm trying to say is, I just feel that not everyone has the same vision on the world, and that's the point. If that's the reason they broke up, that's not right. Okay? And I don't think Kanye West has bipolar disorder. I do not think he does. Some of the things he got upset about, almost killing your own child before they were born, knowing the life they have and how amazing it is, knowing that that could have never happened due to your stupidity. Yeah, you have a right to be upset about that. Because you almost killed your own, you almost aborted your own child. And knowing that the life they live is amazing, you have all the right to say that. And just like Donald Trump, Kanye West is talked bad about in the media. And he is talked good, but sometimes it's bad and stuff when it comes to him running and all that. And I feel that everything he stands for is what I would want. He knows that there's no getting rid of abortion. People are going to do it regardless. There's no changing that. But if he can give people the opportunity to get funds, and I feel like there should be very extensive processes for the type of funds that he wants to, do to give to people that can't afford to have a child. What I think they should be able to do is, if it's and the only reason I think that a woman should get abortion is if the baby and the mother's life is at risk, and if the baby stays, the mother will die, and the baby will die regardless. If in any situation the baby will die, then just remove it. If the mother's life is at risk because of the baby, that's the only reason. That is literally the only sole reason should be an abortion taking place. Not because you don't want to have the kid, because you're not prepared. I know there's some messed up people, and there's rape, and people get raped, and then they don't want to have the kid because it's not their complete and utter fault. But go through the stuff and give the kid up for adoption. If you're not ready to take care of it, if you don't want to go through giving birth, have a C-section done. Stuff like that. I don't get that's a joke, okay? That's not something to joke. Rape is not something to joke about. Just saying. But as I'm saying is that that's how I feel. I feel that Kanye West is one of the only other decent people that were running. I felt like Trump was just looked at too negatively and made our country look bad. Plus, Kanye West was just a overall more. But I'm saying that, I know this circumstance, if you're having sex with, say, a boyfriend, and you get pregnant, that's your stupidity. That is your stupidity for having that. That's why I think, and this is why I believe that you should only have sex. This is not just a religious thing. Okay. And I what? I don't know where I was going. Oh, unless you're having it's not just a religious thing. I feel. I think you should wait to have sex until you are married. And hear me out on this. This is not a religious thing at all. Because why would you want to give your virginity away to someone that you're not going to spend the rest of your life with to keep it? You don't want to give it to some stranger you're going to probably most likely forget their name forget what they looked like, and never remember most of what the night was like in, say, 5-10 years. Like, and you should look at the protections and all the stuff and see that some steak left in my tooth. It's bugging me, but at that, look at the protections and everything, and everything. I'm gonna take this Band-Aid off. It's really cutting the circulation off. If I can get the dang tab up, I can see what it looks like underneath there. Oh, not that bad. Oh, there's like no blood on this Band-Aid. Yeah, it was. I don't know how well this is going to show up on camera to show you guys, but that's the finger. And if you guys, I don't know how well you guys can see that. I'm trying to get it just right in the light. That's the cut. On my fake finger. It's being held by this Band-Aid. I'm going to I'm not even gonna worry about putting it on. But oh yeah, that feels so much better. But as I'm saying is, it's just, I felt Kanye West was way better because he was giving people an option. If money was the reason of getting an abortion done, and abortions can be done really cheap ways, and I feel that it's the if that's your main reason is money, that you're not making enough money, he wants to give people the option of signing up for programs, and I think these programs should not per se give you money, but per se give you necessary things, like, unless you're gonna do breastfeeding, which I have no problem with, just do it in your own home. Don't do it in public. If you're gonna do it, go to the bathroom and do it. It might not be the most sanitary place, but it's better than nothing. Or it can create something else. I just feel that what anyways was gonna do, I feel that not give people really money. I think you should give them a sort of temporary home type of thing, like a place to basically live until you have the money to afford a home. And once you have the money to afford a home, after, like, everything would be paid for that you need, wise, like, you would have to buy your own transportation, you would have to, but everything else, like electricity, internet, all paid for, or all would come in this, like, this plan, then, and you would get, basically, and the place to live doesn't have to be part of that as much, I feel. But basically they could give you things like formula, clothes, things that would cost you money, that, say, working at a 9, like, I gotta look up what's the lowest minimum wage. I think, yeah, the lowest minimum wage is $7.25 an hour. 5 states have not adopted a state minimum wage: Alabama, Louisiana, Mississippi, South Carolina, and Tennessee. So I feel like just saying, and that was in 2020, that it was $7.25 per hour and has not increased since 2009. That was over 11 years that it had not increased in certain places. That's the federal minimum wage, warning. That was the federal, not the state minimum wage. It was the federal minimum wage. In a state that doesn't require minimum wage, there's a federal minimum wage that is required. So in states like Alabama, Louisiana, Mississippi, South Carolina, and Tennessee, stuff like that. And I mean, that's where the issue happens, is when you're running on $7 and like if like I'll look up average McDonald's hours per week. Okay? You can work up to 40 hours per week. On an average, you can work 25 to 30 hours per week. In fact, we have discovered McDonald's actually limits the number of hours an employee can work to only 40 hours per week. Now, say you work 25 hours. That's 25 times, let me scribble the number down, is 7.25 for 25 hours. So let's do, I'll do some math on my watch here. Let me clear that. Let me put in the 7.25 times 25. That's times $25. That would only give you $181.25 a week. That is a week. Okay? That's per week. They only allow you to work 40 hours per week. Like, and that really, that's not enough. That's why I feel that Kanye West was the right person that I voted for. And that's why I voted for him, because he seemed to know what he was talking about and going based on his past experiences in that field of knowing what it's like to want to abort someone but then not do it, and saying that the best gift is a child. And I think it is. Unless your child happens to be a murderer or a rapist put onto the death penalty, then I don't think that's the best thing. But otherwise, I think it is. I think that the human experience, if accessible to someone, to live life normally, is to go to school, get a job, fall in love, get married, have kids, and then have the kids grow up, have grandkids, and maybe have great grandkids, maybe, but die together, living happily, and not getting no divorce, no nothing. That's how I feel that as a human experience, is to live life and enjoy it. Stupid dang piece of meat stuck in my teeth. I don't know, okay? As I'm saying is, I felt that the way, and I feel that Kanye West shouldn't give money. I feel he should supply the necessary things to the child. Clothing, food, things that, because the mother also needs to be able to eat, bathe, pay the electric bill. And I want to see, what is the highest highest minimum wage in the U.S. What is the highest minimum wage? The highest minimum wage is $14 an hour. So, let me... That's $350 for a 25-hour work week. My finger's starting to bleed again. I might put another band-aid on there or put some Neosporin. I might put a band-aid on there, like a waterproof one that's thinner on my finger, just because it's sort of starting to bleed again. And I also don't want to get crumbs or like dirt in my cut and all that right now. But I'm saying that's that much. But what I'm looking for is how much does a newborn baby cost? How much does a newborn baby cost? According to the USDA report, the average middle income family spends around $12,000 to $14,000 on child-related expenses each year. For newborns, the cost is higher, with some studies ranging from $2,000 to $50,000 for the child's first year of life. Now think about that. That's including the heating bill, doctor visits. That's where I think Kanye West would be great at that. And including all of that. Yeah, my finger's starting to bleed again. Because it's getting pressure and oxygen to it. So I might end this stream quite soon here. As you can see that my finger is, if I can angle it just right so you guys can see, because my camera quality on my Mac ain't that great. As you can, I'm trying to get it on the camera. As you can see, it's starting to bleed again. It was from one of the ticket papers at work. I like to roll it up to toss it out so it can get the least amount of space. Take up the least amount of space. But, yeah. So, that's why I'd vote for him. But knowing that my vote isn't going to count, and my vote probably didn't count at all, knowing that my vote probably didn't count at all really annoys me. Knowing that probably a lot of my family and friends who voted, their vote probably most likely didn't count at all if they voted for Donald Trump. It's very sad to know. But, yeah, I think I'm gonna end my stream here just because of my finger and just because I really don't have much more to say. I'm getting to the point where there's not much more I can say. Because unless magically Donald Trump became president again, I feel like there's no point in doing anything at this rate. So, bye.